Every family has its secrets. Some are as simple as a hidden cookie stash or a white lie about a bad haircut. Then there are those families like mine that hide things that go bump in the night. My family tree doesn't just branch out, it groans under the weight of spooky tales and unexplained phenomena. We try to keep it hush-hush, maintain a semblance of normalcy. But the truth always has a way of slithering out, especially when it's as pale and ghastly as a full moon on Halloween. Family gatherings were less about potato salad and more about who saw the flickering light in the attic or heard the whispers in the dead of night. Our lineage is interwoven with the supernatural, each generation adding its own chapter to our family's very own Book of the Damned. We're not talking about your friendly Casper kind of ghosts either. We're talking full-on, spine-chilling entities that made the hair on the back of your neck stand on end. There's always that one place, right? The location where every spooky story originates. In my family, that place was our ancestral home, a rambling Victorian mansion perched precariously on a windswept cliff overlooking the Atlantic. Even on the sunniest day, the house held an oppressive gloom, a tangible sense of dread that seeped into your bones like a cold November fog. Floorboards creaked under the weight of unseen footsteps, and disembodied whispers slithered through the drafty hallways. Doors slammed shut on their own, their heavy thud echoing through the silent house like gunshots. My great-great-grandfather, a stern-looking man with a walrus mustache and a penchant for the dramatic, built the house. Legend has it that he refused to leave during a violent storm, claiming he'd built the house to withstand anything. He was wrong. The storm swallowed him whole, and they say his spirit still roams the halls, seeking solace he can never find. The house became a grotesque monument to his stubbornness, a haunted prison my family, for some unfathomable reason, refused to abandon. Haunted houses are bad enough, but cursed objects? Those take the cake, especially when they're passed down through generations like some macabre inheritance. In my family, the honor, or should I say horror, fell upon a seemingly innocuous piece of jewelry. A silver locket intricately engraved with a swirling pattern of thorns and roses. It was beautiful, in a dark and twisted sort of way, but its beauty masked a sinister secret. The locket belonged to my great-aunt Eleanor, a woman known for her striking beauty and her unsettling habit of talking to herself. She claimed the locket whispered to her, feeding her secrets and lies, driving her slowly insane. They found her in her bedroom one night, eyes wide with terror, clutching the locket in a death grip. The official cause of death was a heart attack, but everyone in the family knew better. Since then, the locket had become a family heirloom, passed down from one unfortunate soul to another, each owner experiencing its chilling effects firsthand. Some heard whispers, others saw fleeting visions of a shadowy figure, and a few even claimed to have felt the locket grow warm to the touch, as if imbued with a life of its own. I never touched it again, but the memory of that day, the feeling of unseen hands reaching out from the cold metal, still sends shivers down my spine. Every family has that one relative, the one who claims to see dead people. In my family, that was Aunt Millie. Now, Aunt Millie was a sweet lady, always baking cookies and knitting sweaters for everyone. But she had this peculiar habit of talking to empty chairs at family gatherings. When questioned, she'd simply smile and say, "Oh, I'm just catching up with old friends." Of course, everyone just brushed it off as Aunt Millie being Aunt Millie. They called her eccentric, a little off her rocker, even crazy. But I always wondered, what if she wasn't crazy? What if she really could see things others couldn't? I remember one Thanksgiving, Aunt Millie was in her usual spot at the head of the table, a vacant chair beside her. She kept glancing at it, a small smile playing on her lips. Looking back, I can't help but wonder if Aunt Millie wasn't just seeing things, but rather she was the only one brave enough to acknowledge the unseen guests that always seemed to linger at the edges of our family gatherings. Dreams. Those strange, surreal landscapes our minds conjure up when we sleep. Most of the time, they're forgotten upon waking, fading like wisps of smoke in the morning light. But sometimes there are dreams that linger, images so vivid, so unsettling, that they leave an indelible mark on our subconscious. In my family, we had one such dream, a recurring nightmare that plagued generations. It always started the same way: darkness, a suffocating, all-encompassing darkness that pressed down on you, stealing your breath and chilling you to the bone. Then, a figure would emerge from the shadows, tall and skeletal, its features obscured by the gloom. This was the Shadow Man. Family reunions. Those joyous occasions where relatives gather to celebrate their shared heritage, reminisce about the good old days, and pretend they actually like each other. For most families, it's an excuse to break out the barbecue grill, play some volleyball, and maybe snap a few awkward family portraits. For my family, it was a recipe for supernatural disaster. It seemed that whenever we gathered in large numbers, the paranormal activity went into overdrive. Lights flickered, objects moved on their own, and disembodied whispers followed us through the crowded rooms. I remember one particular reunion, held at our usual haunted stomping ground, the dilapidated Victorian mansion on the cliff. The atmosphere was thick with tension, a palpable sense of unease that hung in the air like a shroud. As the night wore on, things started to get weird. Pictures flew off the walls, furniture overturned, and the temperature plummeted, sending chills down everyone's spines. So, there you have it. A glimpse into the weird, wild, and downright creepy world of my family's supernatural secrets. Are we cursed? Haunted by restless spirits with unfinished business? Or are we just a family with an overactive imagination and a penchant for the dramatic? Honestly, I'm not sure I want to know the answer. Maybe it's a bit of both. Maybe our family's chaotic energy attracts the paranormal. Or maybe the paranormal is just drawn to our particular brand of crazy. Whatever the reason, I've learned to embrace the weirdness, the unexplained, the downright spooky aspects of my family history. After all, it's what makes us unique, right? But hey, don't take my word for it. Come to one of our family reunions. Just don't say I didn't warn you.